Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Here's the headline from you today. XRP holders lawyer John Deaton issues crucial scam alert to community. Now, this story from attorney John Deaton, which I'm going to run through in great detail, is astonishing. The lengths that these dirtbags went to try and steal attorney John Deaton's crypto is perhaps the most aggressive and intense story of its kind that I've heard. Off the top of my head, I can't think of something. They got more invasive. I mean, we're talking about actual phone calls being placed here, posing as customer support. It's absolutely wild. So, given that we are in the midst of a bull run right now, it can also kind of serve as a PSA. It's an incredibly interesting story. But on top of that, it can serve as a public service announcement because anybody can fall for something like this. I don't care how smart you are. You know, if you're caught in the right circumstances, and the correct thing is propositioned to you at just the right time, you can fall for a scam. I don't care how smart you are. You know, this is the reason. So there's stuff like maybe you've gotten random text alerts from spam numbers saying that a package was lost, whether it's UPS or the United States Postal Service, or if you're outside the United States, it wouldn't be that necessarily, but whatever it is. And then you're like, what the hell is this crap? So there's obviously a whole, intended scam behind that if you respond to it. But what they're hoping is that you'll be the small percentage of humans that actually was perhaps expecting a package from UPS or the United States Postal Service or FedEx, whatever it may be. And that because of that, you're like, oh, there's a problem with my package. And then you'll go in there and then whatever the scam is, divulge information. It could be any number of things, but that's the hope. That even if you're smart and you're normally on guard, that doesn't matter. Under the right circumstances, anybody can fall for this stuff. And so since we're in the midst of a bull run here, it would just be a devastating time for any of you to lose what may very well end up being life-changing wealth. And so just be super cautious. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And by the way, I will share with you something personal. And if you're on X, you may already be aware of this. I just haven't talked about it on my YouTube channel. But on January 1st, somebody tried to steal my X account. They tried to hijack me, and undoubtedly, had they been successful, they would have been promoting, as is always the case, all sorts of fake, crypto promotions, or you should buy this coin, blah, blah, blah. It's that type of crap. Anytime somebody gets their X account hijacked, that's what happens, right? And so I'm not going to read the whole post because, frankly, I used the language in the post when I was describing this because I was pretty pissed off that I'm just not going to use on my YouTube channel. If you want to find out what that is, there's the bottom of the post, January 1st. You can see this. You can go check it out if you feel so inclined. I used some choice language when it came to describing the individual or individuals that were attempting to steal my account that I had been working for the better part of a decade to grow. I don't take kindly to that. But I shared a couple screen grabs too from an email and from a fake website that tried to get me to put in my password to my X account. Although, frankly, that wouldn't have worked anyway because I have 2FA set up. But some people don't, and so for some people that don't have that layer of security, even just having the password, maybe that would have been enough, and they could have gotten in. And who knows what other stuff they were doing to try and attack too. There could be other tactics that they have that I'm currently unaware of. And so either way, I'm just telling you, you gotta be careful out there. But they were basically were telling me that, hey, this post had violated our rules and guidelines. Your account's going to be permanently suspended, deactivated, whatever words they use, within the next whatever period of time, very short time period. Maybe it was 48 hours. It was 48 hours. If you don't take action. And so then you could be feeling frantic. You could click and then, type in your password, and then they have your password. It's a phishing website. That's what that is. And so they create a sense of urgency. But this stuff happens not just when they're trying to hijack accounts. It happens with crypto also, which brings us directly to this story. So there's this post from XRP community member and fellow XRP YouTuber James Rule XRP. And somebody was pretending to be a Ledger, the hardware wallet company, and they were trying to get his seed/recovery phrase. And so he wrote here, and there's the email on the screen. I'm not going to read it, but just know that's fake. do not fall for this, and you could get one of these too. But he wrote, I repeat, do not fall for a threatening email. The scammer here is trying to get the seed/recovery phrases from the public. These words activate your wallets on the blockchain. They are for you and you only. The scammers activate your wallets in seconds and steal all of your crypto on that wallet. Right. So if you ever see somebody trying to get your recovery phrase, and this does happen, you might think, oh, well, they're so stupid they deserve it. No, no, no. There are people that are new to crypto, and nobody deserves to get scammed anyway. That's a garbage. You are a piece of crap if that's your position. Like, you should seriously look inward and find out question, what do you need to do to become a better person? Because it's disgusting to think if you fall for a trick, then you deserve it. No, you don't. And by the way, if that's your position, you could fall for a trick too. You're saying it's 100% impossible for you to be tricked about anything in your life that would be of consequence. You're so infallible. No, get off your high horse. That's crap. Anybody could. I could be tricked. Now, I wasn't here in the case of them trying to hijack my X account, thankfully, but I know I could be tricked under the right circumstances. Absolutely. I could be tricked. You could be tricked. We all could be. And so that's why I'm putting this out here. And it's also a very interesting story. But so anyway, he was sharing this about Ledger. If you ever get an email like that, just be highly skeptical and know for sure it's a scam if they're talking about, you're verifying your recovery phrase. For sure it is then. But this post, it was shared by attorney John Deaton, and then he shared his story. So John posted what I'm about to share with you the other day. In this story, I'm almost certain I talked about it on my YouTube channel when it initially unfolded, and I do remember the story. This he posted just like 1 or 2 days ago, though. I have not read this version of it. So I thought it'd be fun because I was like, oh, we got to run through this. So I'm going to run through it with you. And so this is technically the first time I'm reading this, but I am very well aware of this story when it happened and the consequences because it was astonishing. And I remember talking about it on X at the time. And this is an absolutely wild ass story. So check this out. This is directly from attorney John Deaton. He writes, a crypto warning. As crypto prices rise and new people enter the space, so do scammers. Some scamming operations are quite sophisticated, whether related to your private wallet or an exchange account. If you get an email with a link, do not click the link unless you are 100% certain it's legit, and even then, be suspicious. Make sure you have 2FA, that's two-factor authentication. If you don't know what it is, please just Google it and apply it to every account that you have where it's possible. But he says, make sure you have 2FA set up with your accounts and never share passwords or seed phrases. Some people might say or think, if you're dumb enough to share your password, you deserve to lose your money. No innocent person deserves to be robbed, tricked, or cheated out of their hard-earned savings. These scammers are sophisticated and create a sense of urgency and fear. In a true moment of panic, anyone can make a tragic mistake that seems stupid in hindsight. And I'm so glad he said that. It's sad to me that it needs to be said, but it does need to be said. And that's why I reiterated that concept, and that's why I talked about it in this video as well. No one deserves this. Of course not. You're so stupid you deserve to just not have your net worth anymore because somebody tricked you? What the hell kind of dumbass perspective is that? Anytime I see that from somebody, I just think less of them instantly. I really do. Are you a psychopath? You're blaming the victim for this? What the hell is wrong with you functionally? Like, there's something wrong with the type of person you are, your brain. Like, it's instantly when I see comments from them, like, I don't want you in my life. That's my response. So at least they're kind of displaying to the public what their value system is. Anyway, so then he shares his story, and this is buck wild. Check this out, guys. Here's what he writes. True story. 2 years ago, my home Wi-Fi was hijacked, and when I went to log into my Uphold account, a screen popped up that said my account was locked for security reasons because of suspicious activity and a possible attempted breach. The screen pop-up informed me that I would get an email from Uphold support, which I did within 20 seconds of the pop-up. The email, this gets so wild. The email appeared to be from Uphold support and looked official enough. The email included a link and I was instructed to click the link. What people need to understand is that not only do the emails look official, but it creates a sense of urgency and fear. The email states that your funds are at risk and you need to take immediate steps to protect your funds, or they could be lost forever because hackers are attempting to steal them. Okay, so let me pause to state that's obviously true, that tactic they're using, that sense of urgency. And what did I just share when they were trying to hijack my X account? Sense of urgency. Respond within 48 hours. So that way you're like, oh, I better get this. Oh my God, right now. I lose my account. Then they hope that you won't think, and you'll just type in the password. Now, obviously, to log into X, it doesn't take you to some separate website. It looked like kind of like their help page, effectively. Like, that's not how you log into X. But in a moment of panic, I'm sure it does work on some people. And so if anybody's ever trying to urgently get you to act on something, that's another thing to watch for. Just be aware of that. Anyway, John continues. The actual hackers create a fear and panic that your password needs to be changed immediately or you could lose everything. After receiving the email, I immediately clicked the link. I know now I shouldn't have. The next step was for me to enter my password, but I paused. Suspicion kicked in, and I thought to myself it all seemed a bit strange. What I didn't realize yet was that the hackers had hijacked my Wi-Fi and was online with me, sharing my screen, waiting for me to enter my password so they could lock me out and steal my crypto. I sat there for about 30 seconds staring at the box, asking for my password. I was frozen. After 30 seconds, my cell phone rang with the caller ID showing as an 888 number. I answered the phone and the person calling said, "I need to speak with John Deaton, please." "Who's this?" I replied. "Ryan from Uphold Support." "What can I do for you, Ryan?" "John, you should have received an email from us. For security reasons and to protect your funds, we locked your account because of several failed attempts to access it." And folks, do you see how wild this is? Think about this. This is next level. So I've heard of all sorts of stories about, emails and, social media interaction, this or that. Never have I heard a story where they have the target's number, in this case, John Deaton, and they actually call them. They're using their mouth words, actually talking, acting like they're a customer service representative to steal crypto and do other nefarious things, no doubt. This is insane, right? Do you see the degree to which this is severe? And you see the lengths that some of these terrible excuses for humans will go to rob you. So just, again, I'm about to proceed with the story, but please, if this ever happens to you, and there's a reasonable chance it will because this stuff happens to, whether you're known or not known as a figure in crypto, this stuff happens. Everyone is a potential target, frankly. So anyway, so he said, "John, you should have received an email from us for security reasons and to protect your funds. We locked your account because of several failed attempts to access it." I responded, "Yeah, I saw that, and I did receive an email about 30 seconds ago. Damn, you guys are quick. You're a valued customer, John, and protecting your funds is our #1 priority." He continued and said, "We need to make sure it's really you accessing the account, and then we strongly recommend you change your password." I replied, "I'm not giving you my password. How do I know you're not a low-life scammer?" And he replied, "I agree, John. Never give out your password, and I'm not asking for it. Just enter it on your laptop, and then I can walk you through the next steps." Being suspicious, I lied and said I didn't have my laptop handy and asked him to call me back in 30 minutes. "Call back in 30 minutes?" he asked. He gave an awkward pause, and I became even more suspicious. He said, "Okay," and hung up. At that moment, I turned off my Wi-Fi, and using cellular service only, I clicked my Uphold app and was able to access my account without issue. I knew then that my home network had been compromised. Because I had accessed my law firm network working from home, my business network had been compromised as well. A couple months later, my cell phone SIM card and Twitter accounts were hacked. By the way, the fraud unit at Uphold was awesome to deal with. Be careful. And there you can see there's the post from James Rule XRP that he shared as well. Isn't that absolutely insane? That is, like I said, the most buck-wild freaking story. They actually called John Deaton and spoke with him. Oh my God. That one to me is simply mind-blowing. So thankfully he was able to kind of sniff that out in real time. But when you're in the moment and you haven't had time to process these things, that's when you're at your most vulnerable and might trip up. And so thankfully that didn't happen in this case, but that's also why they have this sense of urgency, these scammers out there. But yeah, I also remember, unfortunately, they were able to, do that SIM card thing, and his Twitter account ultimately did get hacked, but he got it back, thankfully. And that's a whole separate story. But and anytime you see somebody in crypto suddenly putting out posts that are uncharacteristic of them, they've been hacked. And so anybody that follows them kind of knows. But it's a very small percentage of people that are going to fall for any of these given scams. And that's all that these scammers need for it to be wildly profitable for them. And so it might seem silly. You might think, who's going to fall for some of this stuff? Well, it depends, again, on the right circumstances. It has nothing to do with how intelligent you are. Like, you can fall for things. But even if you think it's only stupid people that fall for scams, and that is not true, that's a certain percentage of humans, but they still don't deserve to get robbed. Well, that's completely ridiculous. So anyway, again, at a time where we are heading into a territory where it's a very real thing to achieve life-changing wealth in crypto, it's more important to be vigilant here than at any point in your crypto journey, probably. It's probably true for pretty much all of us, really. So just be super duper careful. And so they're going to try and get you, whether you have your crypto on an exchange, whether you have it in a hardware wallet, they're coming for you. Just be careful and don't fall for it. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say, all right? That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.